Hello. Yeah. When I started working with Slug, well, I had known Slug throughout the years, passing. The doors of Fifth Element, the store below Rhyme Sayers, was always open to us through Dilated. My Weatherman LP in-store was here with DJ Revolution and Alchemist. Years of seeing Idea and Abilities, Brother Ali, everyone on the road. These weren't strangers when we saw each other. We weren't people that talked every day, but when we saw each other, it was, a good vibe. So I stepped to Slug to do a song on the Weatherman LP when I was actually here, when we were doing in-store with Little Brother. And he turned it around quick, and it was a good vibe. And that was that. I didn't realize the power of the collaboration until I put it out, and people started reacting heavy, especially like on YouTube, other places where comments were available. So that interested me. Then I kind of started following Slug a little bit closer, Atmosphere a little bit closer, Rhyme Sayers a little bit closer, just from being involved, And I really liked what was going on. I had talked to Rhyme Sayers about doing an album after Weatherman, but I don't think the stars were aligning, and I just moved on and did the layover. And then after that, my presence as an underground artist solo started to rise, and I was fortunate enough to have some offers from different labels, and basically just sent over what I had here and just said, can you do better, and are you interested? And they said we could do better and we're interested. So that, it was just as natural as that. I believe everything happens for the right reason at the right time. And putting out Cats and Dogs is leading to me believe that I was right once again. Well, the album was never postponed. An album postponed to me is when you say August 3rd it's coming out, and then August 3rd it doesn't come out. There was never any official Rhyme Sayers statement. I was just blogging too much, or vlogging, video blogging, or whatever too much. And I ran my mouth out one day in Europe when I was excited, and I said, we're trying to go for this date. But that was just me thinking about what I would do. I wasn't considering anybody else on the roster, considering the fact that I might have not had the music ready, or even if I did have the music ready, I wasn't ready to promote it due to the other things I was doing. So that was my fault, and I apologize to the people for that. But I never came and said this is the day. So with that being said, I had a long time to create this album. A lot of tracks got recorded, and that's different for me because normally if I record an album, I do 16 songs, and 16 songs make the album. It's never like a second guess process or anything like that. It's like, this is what I'm putting down, and I believe in my hand, and I'm playing these cards. So with this one, I had more time to create. And in the time I was creating, I started going through just things that human beings go through. Not rock star shit, real human shit. And I started to write about some of it. Some of it made me nervous. Some of it was touching, points of vulnerability that I might not wanted to have shared with the people. But then as I started to collect these songs, I started, like a Scrabble board, just mixing them up and seeing what I could do with them, and I found a great sequence, and found the songs I felt that should be represented for the bonus tunes, and I found the song like same folks that I wanted the people who had been riding out for me from the beginning to have before everyone else. And everything was pretty calculated, so I'm pretty proud of what we did. I'm very proud of what we did with Cats and Dogs, especially for the reason that there was so many choices and so many different avenues to go. I think we went down the right road. Watching videos in the United States is tricky. We have music television, which doesn't play much of that on its main station. We have other channels like Jams or MTVU. There's a lot of music Not everyone has access to those channels, so that's interesting. You can find videos on television. It might not be the one you want when you want to see it. It's more how it's presented to you, and I'm not mad at that. I think YouTube is a great thing because it allows you to watch what you want to watch when you want to watch it. And not just YouTube, a lot of other, your Vimeos and everything else on the net that's allowing people to navigate the way they want to. So that's dope. And I think that's worldwide. That doesn't apply to America or Poland or anywhere in between. It's just, it's available. Now I understand in some countries it's not quite as available, but I think technology will catch up soon for those places. And to get 400,000 views in a couple weeks is a major accomplishment. It just says that over a period of years, we might have millions of people just watch it on one stream. And to me, that's the people speaking. That's not a program director speaking, or that's not an outside invested interest speaking. That's just people clicking. And I think it's probably the realest meter we have right now. Yeah, I like a lot of international artists, even ones that I don't know about too tough, that I just meet in passing. Language barrier is always difficult. So if you don't speak English and you take the time to learn my rhymes, this shit is something that's amazing to me. Same way I would listen to a reggae artist or a dancehall artist and their Jamaican accent, so to speak, even though it is English, was so heavy I couldn't understand the words. I would take the time to try to decipher a lot of it and figure it out. So in that sense I can relate. There aren't too many French rappers or German rappers or Polish or Russian MCs, with the exception of a few, that I've taken the time to do this with. And I don't know why. It's probably just because it doesn't come natural to me and it takes a lot of time. So to anybody that's done that for me, it's like, damn, it's incredible. I will say that production is a little different. A snare drum is a snare drum, a kick is a kick, a cymbal is a cymbal. So if you're from, Croatia and you're making beats, I could probably feel you a little faster than if it was me having to study your raps, just because of the universal language of music. So there's a lot of producers worldwide who I check for, like the guy out of France, Budacris, who won the remix for To Be Continued. Like, I want to work with him now, like, straight up. Whereas if I had heard the MC in his group, I might respect it, but I wouldn't be able to all the way feel it because I can't understand the words. That's something I want to get into in the future, but I have to learn a lot of languages to do that. It seems like because rap music was created in New York, it's an American art form, and so other places around the world have taken the time to learn that, and that's amazing. It's really amazing. I've met people in Germany and other places who have told me I learned to speak English by listening to NWA or Too Short or whatever, and I think the fact that I don't rap too fast and that I enunciate well when I rap gives me an upper edge when I'm going to places where English is not the first language that they speak, if at all. But in Poland, OSTR, I've worked with him, and not only is he an amazing rapper, but as a person, as a human being, I got to chill with him, and it blew me back. I'm into rappers, but I'm also into rappers who are great people. He's the definition of that so far to me. So. Polish jazz I've sampled, and a lot of psych rock and stuff like that, prog rock, yeah. There's a lot of true gems out there, especially, I don't quite know the history as much as I should, but, being cut off from certain places and having influence, and the influence being cut off to you and start going off what you remember in your head. And a lot of people back in the day didn't have it so easy, so they didn't have the access that a lot of people now have. And they made a lot of music from the heart, not from I want to be like them, more like this is what's coming out. So yeah, you can feel it in the Polish music. Yeah, I've been there twice. Yeah, Poland was crazy. A lot of things. I was surprised because I've done history and to a certain extent, just through school and what I've learned through relatives and certain people when I travel and being in a group with rockers who's well studied in the past. I know a lot about a lot of Polish struggles that people have had, but to actually be driving down the street, this is where such and such happened, and right here you couldn't do this, that was like, wow, I'm sitting in it. And that's why I love going to Europe a lot. That's why I'm grateful to have a passport. It's like so many added pages. I had to get another one. Like it opens up your eyes, and to actually go set your foot in an environment or smell an environment. It's different than reading it. So, and then like a lot of the movies, based on Holocaust or battles in the past, the conflict of countries and whatnot. It was dope to go to Poland and be like, all right, the pianist, is it bullshit or not? You know what I'm saying? Tell me, how on or off that is. And people are like, that's bullshit. That's actually kind of maybe a little bit true. That's fucked up. No, believe this, like from the Polish people and ones I could trust. So, yeah. My mother's a photographer. Growing up in Venice, just a vivid place, a lot of colors. Yeah, I used to drive to school every day. I loved that. We're taking the bus to school after that because I could, see who went up at night and who didn't. I would be looking at things that my parents or other people on the bus had no idea that I was staring at, just in my own world. Like, something out of nothing type of attitude. So I think I see beauty in a lot of things that people might just see regularly. Yeah, quite a bit. I've definitely come a long way, and I attribute 75% of that to Raka from Dilated, just like my parents kind of split up early, and not that my dad wasn't around, he was, but when it came to a point where I was wanting to smoke weed and try acid and do stupid wild out shit, I was trying to stay away from my father as much as possible because he would pull my card, he would know what I was doing, whereas it was easier for me to get over on my mom. So there was a period of time, actually, even going farther than that, where him and I caught a little beef, and we had 3 or 4 years apart from each other. But this is when I'm 12 to 15, 16, those were crucial years. So I was a little misguided in that time. I kind of, looking back, would have probably done a little bit better if I had a father figure around, even though I might have drove him away. You know what I mean? It wasn't like he didn't want to be. It's just I might have done that being rebellious and being young. But then at the same time I met Raka, and Raka's older than I am, and I never had any brothers or sisters, so it was the first time I was ever in a group with someone where I knew I wasn't leaving, like, we're here. And I just learned a lot from him on how to address certain situations and when is better to speak and when is better to not. And not that I used all of that, but now as I get older, it's definitely come into play more. So yeah, Raka is like my big brother. Like, I have friends, and we're cool, and like real friends, and then I have him, which is like we're cool, but it's on a different level.